Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that last section with Mike and Lauren. These sections are really hard-hitting, quick tips, so I hope you are taking down notes and ready to keep on rolling, because in this section, we are going to learn how to get views without subscribers. Again, this is starting from scratch. People like you, me, who didn't have a brand when we started our own YouTube channel. How do we start to get those views when we don't know where to post our videos or how to get them? So in this section, Mike and Lauren will be teaching us about focusing on search, keyword planning, and self-promotion. So get ready for some more awesome tips, and I'll pass it over to Mike and Lauren.
The latest report from YouTube revealed that over 300 hours of content are uploaded to the site every single minute. That's an entire day's worth of basic cable every 2 minutes. So I guess you could say it's pretty difficult to stand out. Your video will almost certainly receive 0 views if you upload it and expect YouTube to take care of the rest.
To get views when you're just starting out, it's important to make videos that people are already searching for. Until you've built an audience, no one is specifically seeking you out. They're going to be searching for a solution to a specific problem, and it's your job as a creator to offer a solution to that problem.
Now that doesn't mean be somebody that you're not. I'm not going to go out and start making makeup tutorials on YouTube because they're really popular right now. But it does mean to do what you're passionate about, but talk about it in a language that people are already receptive to. Now that can be very easy or very difficult depending on the type of video you make. If you're making how-to videos, it's actually pretty easy. You just include names or brands or products or techniques you're using in the video in your titles. People are already searching for that. So for example, if you have a cooking channel, you include the recipe in the title that you're cooking. That way people search for it and they find you. If you're doing something a little less structured or daily vlogging, it can be a little more challenging, but it's still definitely possible. And the way to do that is to include your opinion about a product, service, or technique in your videos every once in a while. So for example, say you go to a theme park or you test drive a new car. Make sure you include that product or place or event in your title so that when people search for it, they find your vlog. And if you're posting frequently or even daily, you can take advantage of what's called tentpole programming, but we will talk about that just a little bit later.
No matter what category your videos fall into, you are going to need to get comfortable with keyword research and titling your videos to get the most views.
Picking the best title for your video is easier said than done, and it's more of an art than a science. It's a balancing act between writing titles for the search engines and for the humans that are going to be reading it. To find topics and keywords that people are already searching for, we use a number of different tools, but the most capable of all of them is Google's Keyword Planner. Now, if you have any experience with search engine optimization, this is old news. But if you haven't, it's a very valuable skill to learn.
Let's use an example. Mike and I made a video about building a necklace cabinet from scrap wood. It turned out pretty cool, but before we posted the video, we did a little keyword research. And it turns out only about 50 people per month search for a necklace cabinet, which is what we called it all throughout the video. Instead, we found jewelry wall organizer gets 880 searches per month, so that's what we went with. And the result is that search is the #1 source of traffic for this video.
Keep in mind these figures are just estimates and in no way whatsoever mean that your video is going to receive 880 views per month. Use Google's Keyword Planner as a tool to judge relative popularity of certain search terms. But be careful not to pander to the search engines either, otherwise your channel is going to come across as spammy and robotic.
That's why our strategy is to make the videos first and then research the keywords. That way we make the videos that we truly want, but maximize its exposure. I think that authenticity is something that's contributed to our growth.
You might be saying that's an awful lot of work, and it really is, but we think it's important. If you're not up to the task though, there are a few shortcuts you can take. Just simply by typing the topic of your video into Google, the autofill will often give you the most searched term anyway. For example, I made a video about making DIY copper cups, and all throughout the video, I called them copper cups. Right before we posted it, I typed in Moscow Mule copper, and what do you know, mug actually turns out to be more popular than cup. So we just titled the video a little bit differently, and it's been one of our most popular videos.
Okay, now you've created your first video, you've done your keyword research, you've got your slick thumbnail, your catchy title. Where are all the views? Well, unfortunately, just because you've created a searchable video doesn't mean that YouTube's going to include it in their search. Remember, 300 hours uploaded every minute.
The truth is, in our experience, we found that YouTube helps those that help themselves, which brings us to one of the most important topics we're going to cover, self-promotion. One of the things that I think we've done really well, which has contributed a lot to our growth, is our self-promotion strategy, which is basically to post our videos anywhere and everywhere that will take them. We even posted our very first financial video in a small subreddit about financial independence, and it received almost 900 views, which is far from viral, but for our first kind of real YouTube video was staggering to us. What's more interesting is that that initial success sent some sort of signal to YouTube, because now it has over 50,000 views and only 5% of them come from external sources like that initial subreddit. All of the rest of those views are from YouTube recommending it to other people, either on the sidebar, after one of our other video ends, or on people's homepage. Thanks, YouTube.
Here's a graph of our daily views from the beginning of our channel. First, notice there's a healthy slope upwards. That's nice to see. Growth was slow in the beginning, but now just a year and a half later, we're getting 6,000 views a day. That's pretty incredible. Notice there are a few spikes along the way and this big cluster muck here screwing up this pretty graph. Those are all from us promoting ourselves outside YouTube. Let's talk about a few of those spikes, and keep in mind, we've never paid a dime for advertising.
So a lot of these are hard to see because our views have grown so much now in the last few months that it kind of dwarfs these other spikes. But you have to remember, a few years ago, a spike like this, 1,200 views in a day, was amazing to us. So I just want to talk about just a couple of these, the big ones here, so you can kind of get an idea what major blogs and magazine outlets will do for your channel. All right, this first spike here is the Reddit post that we talked about in a previous video about our plan for financial independence. So this was our first major self-promotion, and as you can see, 1,200 views was absolutely amazing for us. This one here on 7/24/2014 is when we interviewed one of my favorite bloggers, Paula Pant from AffordAnything.com. We just did a quick interview with her at her home in Atlanta, and she posted the video on her own blog, which, as you can see, sent about 1,500 people our way just in one day. That actually added up to closer to 6,000 or 7,000 views. This one on August 14th, 2014 is what the front page of Reddit actually looks like. And it was actually a little bit disappointing. I made a Frankenstein light switch and I created a tutorial about how I made it, and it made it all the way to, I think, number 22 on the front page of Reddit. And it only sent over 5,000 views, which, you know, for a site that has, 70 million users, I think, was a little disappointing. But I think it's because you can't link directly to a YouTube video and a DIY how-to. So the link was kind of embedded in the tutorial and just not that many people sought it out. So that's what that looks like. This one here on November 25th, 2014 is the front page of Instructables.com. I frequently post my projects there, and they not only featured it, but they put it on the homepage. So that's what that looks like. This right here represents Popular Mechanics and Lifehacker. I think this is Lifehacker, and then the next day or two, this was Popular Mechanics. I made a folding extension cord organizer, and it was picked up by both outlets. They not only drove a lot of traffic, but this is the signal we're talking about with YouTube, where once you promote yourself outside of YouTube, YouTube then kind of takes over. And all this was just YouTube. This growth from seeing 1,500 views a day to suddenly 5,000 or 6,000 was just because of these inbound links from major media sources like that. So you want to promote yourself, and hopefully if you get picked up, YouTube will see that as a sign that your content is worth promoting themselves, and then before you know it, it kind of explodes.